Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. Today we're doing a quick review of the Eradicator, and this is from the DCUC line. Jordan's the one who has him. I've never actually had this figure, but I do enjoy the storyline that he's from with, like, right after the death of Superman, where Eradicator, Superboy, Steel, and Cyborg Superman kind of all come in and take over the mantle. So, Jordan, what can you tell us about this Eradicator?
Well, it's the DCUC, so DC Classics, older. I don't know. I'm actually not sure on the year on this one. When do you know on this one? I don't know.
I would say 2008-ish?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Early.
was thinking more like the 2010s, but do you think I'm
It could be
off?
2010s.
Either
No, you're
way,
probably right.
it's got that. They all have that similar look. You know, the Y, kind of this joint.
Yep.
So he's got that going on. I mean, the first thing off the bat, I like that he has that classic look from the comic.
For sure.
Where he's just got the blue and the red, kind of a more muted costume, and then he's got the big old gold goggles.
Yep.
When we saw the new McFarlane one, I don't know why he has like a complete face mask, I think, but
Yeah.
I like this look better, personally. So, I mean, I don't know. I've enjoyed having it. It doesn't really, I don't do a lot of DC displays, but if I wanted an Eradicator, this is probably the one I'd want.
Yeah.
I had the Superboy recently, and he was pretty good too. The one thing that confuses me is the DCUC Doomsday doesn't really scale with these guys because
really?
he's like, I don't know. Remember that one, the one that
Yeah, I
you
have
had?
that one. Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't seem as big as I'd like Doomsday to be, but I love the look.
Hmm.
So I like how they got the classic look. It'd be cool to see this updated, which we're getting an updated Eradicator, but I don't know if it's going to be the one I would want. I always thought he was cool, though, to remember in the comics, like, he was of the four Supermen, more like the Punisher, where he kind of was just, like, melting people with his laser vision, which as a kid I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. So I like that storyline, too, and I think if you need an Eradicator, this one's good. Right now, though, I just sold him for like $50. I don't think I'd pay $50 for him. But if he goes a little lower because of the new one, I'd say he's worth a pickup.
Yeah. I mean, it does always stink when McFarlane gives you the figure that you want, but in the costume you don't want. So I could see maybe we get an update of him, but yeah, if we don't, that Eradicator is definitely the best one you're going to get. And especially if you're somebody who likes those DC Universe classics, that Eradicator is a pretty great figure, I think, in terms of the DCUC line. Like, I've got my two Supermen here, and I think Eradicator would go pretty well with them. I do hope that we get an updated Steel, because that was my favorite from that group of Supermen.
I always liked the Cyborg Superman.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're on
our way. He
just
looked like a Terminator.
He does, yeah. I'm sure that's where they got some inspiration from.
Yeah.
But now McFarlane's got a Superboy and an Eradicator, so I don't think he's done a Cyborg Superman yet, which, as much as he loves doing Superman, that would be one that I think would make a lot of sense to do. And doesn't this new Eradicator that McFarlane's putting out has kind of that, like, swooping cape, so that's kind of a cool touch. But yeah, I personally like the DCUC version better, but I'm with you where I don't think I would pay $50 for it. So yeah, I don't know. I was trying to look up and see what year it was from. Couldn't find it. I know it's from Wave 5. That's kind of what my quick Google search told me. So
Nice.
Somewhat earlier in the DCUC line.
Yeah, overall,
I mean,
man, I like the DCUCs. I really do. Like, I think for the most part, like, they are much better today than the Toy Biz Legends are. Like, I guess in the sense of like I
They hold up.
know, yeah, like they hold up better than those, but I realize they're kind of newer, so maybe that's not a fair comparison. But like, I don't see people looking a lot for. I don't know. Do you see a lot of people talking about DCUCs or looking for them?
Somewhat. I mean, I think a lot of those DCUCs are kind of, they're either dirt cheap or super expensive. Like you get some figures that lots of them are around like the $10 mark. You could pick those up pretty easily. Like I've gotten like Golden Pharaoh, Blue Devil, like some of those kind of obscure characters that are cheap. But then you get into like Superboy,
Robin.
Eradicator, Robin. Some of those ones you're looking at like $50 loose. So it's kind of hit or miss on the price with those. But I think they, at least for people our age and maybe slightly older, I think they kind of fit your mind's eye of what those characters are supposed to look
Right.
like, because I got a lot of my like superhero knowledge from like comic books of that time, and then also from the Justice League Unlimited and Justice League cartoons and that kind of show era,
Yeah.
which is what those figures look a lot like.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the DCUC. I started out trying to go really hard into collecting those. I'm kind of starting to phase them out just because McFarlane's putting out so many like updated versions, but there are still some that DCUC I think does a better job. I haven't had the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle in hand yet, but I think I prefer DCUC there. So I think that'll be the same with this one. I think I'm going to prefer the Eradicator from DCUC over McFarlane unless he puts out a classic version.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with the DCUC collecting anyway. Because yeah, I love the animated look of him, and that Eradicator looks like spot on perfect to what I want my Eradicator to look like.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I think that about wraps it up for the DCUC Eradicator. Make sure you're subscribed. Enter to win one of the posters from Daryl Young. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment on whether you like this Eradicator, if there's a different Eradicator out there that we're not mentioning. I really don't think there's one. I mean, maybe if like Mafex did one, but like that's a completely different price range.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know if there's a different Eradicator out there, or like what DCUCs
Or what year it
stack
came
up
out.
better. Yeah, let us know what year this came out too. So yeah, until next time, stay strong.